Okay, so let's look at where we are currently, and you'll find that in the upper ribbon, if you click on the View Current Note button, you can view the current note at any time. So you can see that you have your introductory sentence, you have the reasons for care or chief complaints, and you have the OPQRST information from the patient interview. So let's click OK to get rid of that. So now we need to do the rest of the comprehensive history, because the comprehensive history is going to include things such as the patient's past medical history, their family history, social history, review of systems, medication history, and other things as well. So if you click on the EHR tab in the lower left, and you'll find all of these categories in the upper left column. From these, you may find some issues that are significant enough to be relevant to the patient's health going forward. Those need to be added to the problem list as well. So we'll start with allergies, and we'll go all the way down, including family history and everything else. Basically, let's go ahead and look at allergies. You'll see that it's entered by Michael Pryor. That's because I sent the HHI to the patient. Typically, it'll be the CA who emailed this form to the patient. It will not be your name. So when we double click on that, we get a dialog box, and we can see that the patient answered that they have a drug allergy to penicillin that started in 1965. Okay, the patient's reaction was hives. We want to have a conversation with the patient a little bit more about this, because this may be something that's significant enough to add a new problem. And we're going to talk about how to do that in the next section. If we did add it to the problem list, we would just type in the comments C problem list, and then we're going to go ahead and add it to the current note, and we're going to add the comments to the note as well. And we'll click OK, and we can see that now it's also in the middle bar, which means that it's in the current note today. Okay. The next category we're going to look at is family history, and we can see the patient has 3 incidents of family history, and the father who had a heart attack. Let's add that to the note. Click OK. Go to the next one. The mother also had a heart attack. Okay, and we can see that the mother died at age 78. Cause of death was from the heart disease. Let's go ahead and add that to the note as well, and click OK. We can also see that the father has diabetes, and let's go ahead and add that to the note as well. And we may want to add some comments if it's type 1 or type 2 diabetes, or if they're insulin dependent or not. Go ahead and add that information in there, but let's add that to the note as well. And then we're going to go through all of these items, and again, from some of these you may find things significant enough that you want to actually start a new problem, and we're going to talk about how to do that in the next section. So medications, we can see the patient takes Advil and glucophage. Well, glucophage right there is a red flag. The patient probably has diabetes, so that would become a new problem. So we're going to add those to the current note. Okay, but again, we're going to talk about how to add those as a new problem in the next section. Review of systems. Again, even if the patient denies problems in a system, you still need to add it to the current note. Okay, there are several systems that are not asked about, and you need to add those to the note as well. The way to add that is you're going to click on the Add History button, add ROS. If the patient does deny problems in a system, you need to click the down arrow. You need to clear the onset date, click the Denied button, and add it to the note and click OK. So be sure to go through each of these history categories and add the history logs to the current note, even if the patient is denying problems in an area. And then if we click on the documentation tab and view current note, you'll see in a nice table is all of the comprehensive histories, your allergy history. You can see we added a new problem for that, and we'll talk about that next. The family histories, hospitalization, medication history, nutritional supplements the patient's taking, occupational histories, recreational history, all of the reviews of systems, and you can see for anything that's been denied, okay, there is the onset date has been removed. Of course, we are going to keep the date reported because they're reporting on this day, but there is no onset date for genital urinary, so that's the way it will look in the table. Smoking history, social history, and surgical history. And in our next section, we're going to talk about how to add anything that is significant that can be relevant to the patient's health moving forward, and how we're going to add those items to the problem list.